You go with the
Hmm.
Clockwork. Okay, a support which doesn't have any of the breaks. we'll, see
Nope.
how, we'll see how this works.
Upgrade it to core. Like this is such a god tier Shadow Demon game now.
Yeah, they definitely could.
Absolutely insane. Like you also get the cleanse purge later on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that would be quite cool. I mean, it was a few patches ago that we saw core Clockworks with the position 3, but I mean, yeah, they definitely could do it. Like you were saying, the Shadow Demon would be. It ticks a lot of boxes that they need right now. It deals with so much of the Vessuwan lineup, but yeah, we'll see if they
Yeah.
decide to go for it or not. This fourth pick.
Like when it's not on your radar, when neither of your supports suggest it, and especially now that the Clockwork has already been picked, they had a bunch of time to decide there what they were going to do, and they're just deciding to play their own game. The Clockwork is a great protective pick for the Drow Ranger, making sure that you get to separate most of the other heroes that are going to go for it off of her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she is the one who's going to have to deal with the Spectre herself. Unfortunately, nobody can really help with that. Rubik can lift that Spectre off. You know, please buy the shard this time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite essential this time round, like just to try, yeah, like as you were saying, give a bit more space for the Drow Ranger to work with. Yeah, you gotta, yeah, definitely gotta try and help him out as much as possible. Especially, Toy, you want to give him as easy a game as possible.
Yep. And I do think that Toy just got his hero in the first phase. Like Toy loves Drow Ranger, and you just give that to him to be like done. Okay. Well, there's at the very least a defensive purge versus the Bat Rider, but now you are stuck with what is most likely a core LC, which, especially in this game where I don't think you have very easy supports to prey on, like this is going to be a rough one. You don't have much burst damage from your supports either. This last pick from Reaper is going to have to do a ton of work, and I do think that it's going to probably look something like a Spirit Hero. Unfortunately, Ember already out. You don't want to take Void. Is it going to be a Storm then?
How do you feel about the possibility that the Legion could actually be the mid to go up versus the Bat Rider, and you can purge away the sticky napalm stacks potentially?
I'd be okay with that. And of course, the problem is that your tempo looks a lot different. The Bat Rider farms stacks better than you, rotates better than you, itemizes into controlling lanes better to you, and that puts a lot of extra pressure on your offlaner. Even though it's going to have like a decent lane versus Tree Inspector, but you had the possibility of getting a kill lane there, and you might have to forsake that. Yeah. Reaper might do that, and if Toy does have a habit of showing up to early fights on his Drow Rangers, if he does, you'll have damage for the duel. But we're gonna have to see.
Yeah, there's plenty of possibilities. That's what we like to see about Dota 2. No two games are the same. Everything's always different, and that's what keeps it nice and entertaining for us all to watch. But still, these last few bans to come out. Vessuwan remove the Lesharak. Pangolier there from Reapers, and Reapers don't actually have that much time, reserve time left, only down to 6 seconds, so with their final pick, they're going to be slightly rushed for it, where Vessuwan got a whole 1 minute 40 to work with, so could really take their time and think about what it is they want to remove here. But clearly, they are definitely thinking mid laners are the target to take away.
Yeah, they do not see a mid LC coming in. Like I'm not sure I'd be a fan of it either, but at the very least, like if Reaper does this, I'm going to learn and see if it is viable or not, which is always welcome.
Yeah. Well, like I'm saying, like both of these two teams unfortunately can't make it through to the group. So if there was ever a game to experiment, it would be this one. Okay, they also removed the Cottle there. Okay. I mean, don't really see mid Keeper of the Light anymore, but I'm going to take it out. And immediate pick of the Death Prophet after the bans finish up. Okay, so this a off-lane Death Prophet with Bat Rider mid? Or do you think they might try and swap around, put Bat Rider in the off-lane and Death Prophet mid?
I think it really depends on what they think Reaper is going to do. Death Prophet wins a ton of mid lanes, but then again, so does the Bat Rider. And it is going to be the Brewmaster. Okay.
Is it the mid Legion then?
Brew Drow. RDP on the offlane. Yes, it is. It is a mid Legion commander, but they are not correct about where this Bat Rider is going to go. Because that is Boom Booey on the Bat Rider. He's going to go to the offlane. versus the Drow Ranger. That means this LC is facing up versus the Death Prophet now, which is annoying to say the least.
Not good. Maybe that's the whole point of that last pick Vessuwan. It was like, right, okay, if they want to put the Legion mid, like take a Brewmaster or anything like that for the off lane, we could just swap the lanes around and then their mid pick is completely wasted. So I do like that coming out there from Vessuwan. And yeah, unfortunately for Reapers, their mid pick not quite going to be as impactful as they would have hoped, but you never know. We could see Fearless do really well in the mid lane, but in terms of 1v1 in the Death Prophet, he has no way of getting out of the Spirit Cipher radius, so yeah, it's not looking super good.
No, it's looking. I don't want to say super bad.
Maybe just normal.
I think it's going to be really painful, like really very painful. Death Prophet is a hard matchup for a lot of regular mid heroes. Never mind a Legion commander who is really reliant on getting a melee matchup to trade into, and like getting extra value out of the overwhelming odds. I don't see how you're going to like shove out the wave fast enough versus Death Prophet. I don't see how you trade versus Death Prophet. I don't even see how you secure runes versus the Death Prophet. There's just none of the things you want to do are going to end up well for you, and that scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, it's
needless to say that I favor Vessuwan here, big time.
Yeah, you're hating on the Legion mid that much. Just go all in for the Vessuwan, but I definitely agree. I think the only way that the Legion can recover this mid is if there's a few rotations coming in from the supports. Like the Rubik and probably Clockwork will both have to come in at the same time to try and actually change the dynamic of this mid lane. But obviously that does leave their side lanes open for a possible pickoff. You never really want to leave a Drow Ranger on their own.
No.
So yeah, it could be it could put them into some really scary situations.
But at the very least, the Clockwork can move over because Spectre and Treant, as strong as that lane is defensively, doesn't really have all that much offensive capability. There's going to be a bunch of slows, and then the Brewmaster slows them right back, and they'll sort of like deal damage over time to each other. It's going to be a grand old time. Actually, I'm saying that it's Hong Hong on the Rubik, so it's going to be the Rubik rotating most likely, and the Clockwork just sitting in front of the Drow making clink clong noises.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's always a nice way to go. Trap people in with the cogs allows the Drow Ranger just to beat into people from afar. It could, it can be a pretty deadly combo if it ends up working out. But obviously, the offlaner now is actually a Bat Rider. Actually, a big fight for the bottom boundary room. Fearless taking a beat right now. This is their mid laner. He's getting absolutely punished. The body blocks of Lion Axe. They need one more right click, but can't quite find it. Fearless able to get himself away. But regardless, he has taken a huge beating. Solo on HP, has to start using all these tangos up, and potentially BB could use that to advantage, and yeah, just shut down this Legion commander before the lane even starts.
Absolutely. Fearless is looking black and blue at the moment, and he took the overwhelming odds as well, so no regen for you unless you just, get it out of the trees. This is a high five. Oh, he knows he is up the proverbial creek without a paddle. He's gonna have to use his hands.
Yeah, it's definitely not the position he wanted to be in for sure. And I mean, as we were saying, this lane, it's not like this lane gets better for him. It's pretty much going to be this bad the entire way through. So yeah, I think those rotations from the supports are going to be necessary at this point. Otherwise, Fearless, he's just going to feel like another potential, just like an offlaner.
Yeah, we have seen how important it is, especially for like their team play, for him to have a good lane. It's gonna be rough. Gets a little bit now that he's invested into a salve though. BB taking it easy for now. Most likely gonna wait for his level 3 to really start turning on the thumb screws.
Yeah, and then it's just gonna get that much worse for Fearless. I mean, he's actually doing alright so far in CS, 6-1. Tying there with the Death Prophet, so not being completely bullied out just yet, but still not quite the position he would like to be in. Oh, it is overwhelming odds. Even actually misses the range creep, so wasn't quite in the right position for that.
That's absolutely.
Let's see how these side lanes are going so far, though. KMP, everyone's doing alright in terms of CS. It's just really Boom Boy who's lagging behind. Still only 3 to his name. Really, until he gets a few more points on the old sticky napalm. Just very difficult to try and outlast this Drow Ranger.
Yep. And right now, really the only thing that there is to do for his Tiny is to just try and keep the Clockwork off the lane, because whenever the Clockwork comes into the lane, this happens.
Yeah, gonna just run
And
at
this
him
is
right
gonna
now.
hurt.
I mean, fortunately enough though for Boom Boy, he can't get trapped in the cogs. Because as soon as he does, he'll fly over them. Obviously, he will get drained. His mana will drain away, but yeah, it's very very difficult for them to actually do that combo, which maybe was another factor about why Vessuwan wanted to swap these lanes around. Like, they know that whoever would get caught from the cogs could potentially just die, but the Batrider always going to have that option to just evade it and get out.
Yeah, I mean, you say always, like, the cooldown for Firefly is about double as long as the one for the Clockwork's battery assault, so there will still, even so, be windows for the Clockwork to get it, but you're right, the Clock has more things on his agenda, like bullying a Tiny and bullying creeps.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a good point about the old cooldowns. Like, they'd have to like chain it as soon as the Reaper's skills are off cooldown. They have to go again immediately. Otherwise, yeah, it would be very difficult to get that grab onto Boom Boy. Even still, it's going pretty well so far. You know, the Drow Ranger is yet to be punished, but generally we see the level 3 mark is when the big power spike happens for the off lanes, and they could try and go for a kill. But talk about going for a kill, they're actually going to focus onto My93 right now. The slows from the arrows trying to get the Clockwork in range, but he was actually getting beaten into from the old Ghost, slowing him down as well. M93, I think he was trying to get himself killed to the tower, but instead he will turn around. Oh, the Cogs actually would get the finishing hit. This guy is so damn low. I mean, MYN. Okay, he eventually finds the kill. I don't think. Yeah, the Tiny didn't have any way of cutting the trees. He was like, oh,
No.
wait, this is a dead end.
He is just stuck. And it's I'm just looking at this mid lane again, and it's taking BB longer than I thought to actually push Fearless completely out of this lane. He is starting to get the upper hand again, but honestly, if I'm the LC, I would be very, very happy with how I've done so far.
Yeah, 100%. He's going to be feeling good about that one. Down bottom as well. Just see a little, like, everyone just clustering up in the jungle to press it. Oh, the clap there from the neutral creep. That could just be the death of Hong Hong. He does it for a little bit longer, but he will drop. Nice bit of luck there from Vessuwan. Someone's clearly bribing Gaben there to get the neutrals on their side.
Yeah, that's gonna feel pretty nice. Getting an offensive kill there in a Spectre lane. Hell yeah.
Yeah, the lane, out of all the lanes, Vessuwan was like, okay, this is going to just be the tie, but hey, that's where they actually find their first kill. And going to bump up the Spectre's game a little bit. Still, you know, doing alright in terms of CS, equaling to that of RDP. And yeah, I mean, even if a Spectre's not getting punished out and is able to just, you know, not like excel in CS, but if he can still secure a decent amount, he's going to be feeling very, very happy. Oh, talking about feeling happy, Boom Boy is not. He actually gets picked off there. And I think, yeah, as you were saying, the long cooldown from Firefly, he just couldn't quite get away. And yeah, easy peasy kill there for Toy.
Yeah, and it feels so rough because it's only your own responsibility, but you have to make the choice between, okay, if I go forward now, I'm gonna, you know, risk my life because I can't get out anymore. But if I don't do it, I miss out on half a wave.
In the mid lane, we see MYM, maybe some danger. Exorcism was committed there from BB, trying to heal him up there from Fearless, but I don't think there's any way this Clockwork can get out alive. He is dead for sure. BB just charging forwards. This is the added benefit of having the living armor up online, just easily able to dive underneath these tier 1 towers and get the job done. The Glyph trying to keep the tower relatively healthy with the catapult wave. We'll see how much damage Vessuwan are actually going to be able to do.
The living armor with the Death Prophet feels so good. Like, the only threat to her usually is physical burst damage, and if you have that armor online, that feels
able to just carry on
very powerful indeed.
And this catapult is still alive, getting some good chip damage done into the tower. There was quite a few rotations from both sides, like all the supports in the area, but no one actually ends up dropping. And still, with the first exorcism usage, Vessuwan get the tower to below half HP. So, you know, I think that's a little win there for them.
They are on schedule.
Yeah, they are. And I actually see Fearless making his first rotation here with the level 6. He's going to bump into My93. He's going to commit the duel. Obviously, this isn't to get the victory, but it's just to lock him in place, allow the supports to get close enough. And yeah, this is a dead Tiny for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say supports. Of course, the supports don't contribute anything here. It's Toy.
Toy, yeah. coming in there with the right clicks. And Fearless, he was like, right, you know, I'm here, but I'm taking this kill. I don't care if you're the carry. I want this. I need this to help bump up my game, and does secure. I'm sure he would have loved to get his first duel victory there, but just wasn't quite on the cards.
No, and I think that's a problem that he's going to have more here.
Yeah, it's very difficult to score. He sort of needs the Drow to actually get that damage in. Like, the Rubik's not going to be able to do much. Clockwork's not going to be able to do much. Even the
Brewmaster's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much all down to the Drow getting involved.
Which is really not where you want to be on your LC. And it's funny because this feels like another one of those problems where you want the Rubik to steal something for you to make it happen. We saw how much Reaper struggled with that last time. Okay, now they're just got 4 heroes.
Julie still can't bring
He's
him
still
down.
alive!
Ooh, nice press the attack there. They do manage to all press that overwhelming odds, sorry, and they do manage to bring him down, but this is full 5 heroes from Reapers in the mid lane at just 8 minutes in. And unfortunately for them, they don't even have a creep wave to try and take down the tower, but instead, they might just be able to find Lion Axe right here. He's trying to run himself away. Can they keep him alive for 24 seconds to allow Fearless to get his first duel win? Probably not. He's doing his best, Lion Axe. He's a tanky boy with the living arm on top of him. He's so slow, but this is a massive amount of space that he's getting for his team. Oh, and actually, in the mid lane, they found the ability to go on top of Toy. Exism also getting committed. MYN wants to try and get the cogs, and the space is made.
Nice.
Trying to get to Discade. Fearless is here. He's got the draw up for 1 second. First victory. There it is. 10 damage for Fearless. And BB has to actually just run away.
Reaper is going absolutely nuts in this game. None of these rotations make any sense except in the scenario where your Drow and your LC need to hold hands. But they're doing that.
Yeah.
They're actually doing it. It is the correct read. It just looks so wonky. And now this exorcism has been wasted. You're not getting any pressure out on either this mid or this top tower at the moment. Radiant are struggling a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, the second Exo is really where you want to, but potentially just actually take down the tower and claim that objective, but wasn't able to do that. Now hunting for MYN, so it should be a dead Clockwork right now, but I'm sure they would much prefer to get a tower rather than just a position 5 support.
Well, if you show both of these cores on top, I think they're probably going to give you that tower. And you're still holding bot with your Spectre Treant, so that should be a good tower take on top, but no, BB wants to go back to mid immediately, does not want to sacrifice any time or farm.
Yeah, wants to just get that CS up, maybe getting a little bit closer to his first iron, which is going to be the Yule Scepter. He's still about 13-ish hundred gold away though, so still a bit of time. And Fearless lurking in the trees. Maybe they want to see if they can try and go for the kill here onto the Death Prophet, but I mean, actually, Toy is here nearby, as we're saying. Like, they need the Drow Ranger to get these duel wins, and with him in the vicinity, they definitely can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it also makes for a very easy read for Vessuwan, though, right?
Yeah.
If they can make the same read, like, if we can make this read, then surely they can as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, the Drow Ranger is playing up, and the LC is missing. I wonder what's happening right now.
It's definitely something to keep in their mind for sure. And Fearless going for the first item of the Blade Mail. Also, that will help him, get those dual victories more likely. But really, all of their catch then is on the Clockwork. I mean, I suppose you could say there is some catch available for the Brewmaster once he uses the split, and you can use like a Cyclone, but that is a bit more clunky. So yeah, until he gets the Blade Mail and then the Blink, it's going to all be on the Clockwork to actually make sure they can get the initiations in.
Yep, and if you are a Vessuwan here, I think you just really have to not overplay your hand and just take it easy. Like, you've got a Spectre, you've got an enemy lineup that can't really create engagements apart from with a hookshot. As I don't think you're in a hurry to do anything here. You're just going to open yourself up to opportunities from Fearless with that double damage. Yeah, there we go.
Try to do it. Nice avalanche to make the space, and as a result, that won't be the dual victory. Might still be able to bring down Boom Boy. Out of range there.
No.
Split shot. Evil managed to disengage now. The rest of UD Vessuwan is here. They might end up losing some people. Toy's in some real danger. Can anyone help him? No, they can't. He will die, but KMP, he showed up as well. The Spectre still a little bit squishy this early on. He will drop, even getting a kill into Boom Boy, and BB's in danger as well. 4 people die there for Vessuwan, but at the very least, they do take down the enemy carry and mid laner.
Yeah, so roughly worth it. And man, Hong Hong dealt a lot of damage there with those Spirit Siphons. That was pretty insane.
I was saying about the power of the Rubik, really doing a lot of the work. 1800 damage coming out from him, which is definitely what Reapers like to see. But hey, still, I suppose a minor victory for Vessuwan. Still no second duel victory, but looks like they're going to go
There's
on
a
top right now.
Lasto with Toy's name on it.
Yeah, they're going on top of him. Nice. Still usage there of the cogs, but still with the haste rune on the Tiny, chucks the Drow Ranger in. Is there any save coming in? The TP from Hong Kong with the telekinesis. Can he land the target? But still, Toys are standing his ground right now. He's feeling really tanky. He's doing a lot of damage. Down goes the bat. Down goes the Tiny. And Lion Actor's like, what the hell is happening right here? I need to get him. I need to get out. But I don't
Lion
think
Actor's
he's
only
gonna
level
be able
4.
to. That is a very underleveled tree. Who took this man's tome? And yeah, they just block him in. Guarantee that dual victory there for Fearless. Very, very nicely done there for Reapers.
That's absolutely insane. Like, if he has level 6, I think that play works out 100% of the time. You get either more leech seed damage in regen there, or you get the overgrowth on top of that. Like, I'm sure you're going to get the kill on the Drow. You're still going to lose a bunch of heroes there, right? But at the least the Drow will be dead. But instead, Treant, what in the blazes?
Yes. Even my 93 as well he's only level 5 himself, nearly on his 6, but they are a full 3 levels behind the Clockwork, 4 levels behind Hong Kong actually. It's just the support tier and Vessuwan who are really lagging behind. Looks like their tier 1 tower as well will end up dropping down. There is a living armor there, but unfortunately it's not really going to make much difference. The tower will still fall. Hang on his jungle, but I mean, they're sort of lost their jungle now. It's in the possession of Reapers. Even a hook shot coming through right now, but he does just toss the Clockwork away. Hong Kong is in the general vicinity, so look at the Tiny will drop, but wow, a lot of damage is coming straight out on towards Toy. They do manage to find the Drow Rangers. So far, it's a favourable trade for Vessuwan. Even onto Hong Kong route with the stolen Spirit Siphons. He's just tanking up for so damn long, they can't find the kill. And now the potential turnaround is here. Eventually they will lose it, but it doesn't matter. He's done the job. Boom Boy is definitely going to drop. They've got the lockdown on towards the Death Prophet. Again, no dual victory, but still they will fall. KMP, he's got involved again, but he's way too late. He's just joining the party at completely the wrong times. Although the TP coming back in from the Tiny, he has actually respawned. This fight's going on long enough, but regardless, they will still lose KMP. And now My Knight 3, he's got to be careful he doesn't become the 4th casualty here for Vessuwan. And it looks like he might just be. They're going to pursue him underneath the tier 2 tower. Lion Axe is here by, but what can he do? He still doesn't have his ultimate. Yeah, this is not going how Vessuwan won. This is really, really rough now.
No. Inexplicable, I would even like to say. I feel like they're really not focusing on the things that need to happen. Like, for example, this Treant, please get his level 6. He's got it now, finally. But now they don't have an Exorcism or a Haunt to deft his mid tower with, so that one is also gone.
This is a map shrinking. Not something you like to see when you have a Tree Protector on a team. You know, normally you like to have these tier 1 towers lasting a bit longer. Especially when they themselves have the, I think the superior tower push, obviously, with the X's and whatnot. They should really be getting these objectives a bit faster, but Reapers just shutting them down left, right, and center.
And I have no idea what's worth fighting over for Vessuwan in their own jungle there.
Yeah, it just seemed like they just got baited into taking a, like you're saying, a pretty unnecessary fight. Boom Boy in some danger as well. He's got the Fly back up in a second. MYN's on the case there with the battery assault. Hook shot forwards, and it's just another death.
Yep. This is starting to feel real awkward right now. That LC that was supposed to get shut down hasn't been shut down at all. Didn't buy a Blink Dagger. Hasn't been necessary so far.
It's very true. He's always been able to get in range and get those jewels off regardless. I mean, sure, still only 2 duel victories, but he recognizes that he doesn't need to get the duel wins. As long as if he locks people down, allows the rest of his team to just collapse on top of people and find the kills, it's 100% worthwhile. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not necessary he has the damage stacking up. They've got the Drow Ranger who can definitely do it for them.
Yep, and that's the other impressive thing about this game, right? Sure, Toy is gonna die right now, but I was gonna say that they have been playing up with the Trial Ranger.
Oh, it forced off out.
The silence?
He's away. I mean, Lionax, he had his overgrowth. Oh, he was silenced. Yeah, of course,
It was
yes.
silenced for literally forever.
Wow. They can't even get the kill onto the carry. It looks like My 93 also going to drop here. Dual victory number 3 going to be rewarded. There is going to be the overgrowth, but it doesn't really do too much. BB now getting involved with the 4th exim of the game. Spirit Siphons once again stolen into the hands of Hong Kong. He does tremendous work with this ability. Looks like they should be able to find MYN at the very least. He will fall down. Hong Kong feeling so aggressive there with these Spirit Siphons, but the sexism is really starting to do a disgusting amount of damage, and he will actually fall. Once again, KMP getting involved with the Brewlings there from RDP, trying to chase after the...
He's gonna die.
Yeah, he was not expecting that. His bears just disappeared.
Yeah, and now a defensive fight for Vessuwan, and suddenly everything is alright. It really just all comes down to the fact that they should not hurry, should not overextend, take their time, fight these fights on their own terms, because every time they've been going in really hard, you give the opportunity for a good duel for the LC, you give the opportunity for the Rubik to buy a ton of time, the Clockwork gets to split you up. This was much more like it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need as well, because the game was... It was starting to slip further and further into the hands of Reapers. I mean, it was actually sat at an 86% win probability as well, but after that one fight, it bumps it down to 67, so, you know, it feels a bit more comfortable for him.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that's pretty aggressive from Gaben there, because normally he really favors Spectre too.
He does, yeah. It's like, even at the start of a game, I mean, yeah, literally minute 0, they were at 56%, but
yeah,
this time, you know, he's fearing the mid lead and commander. He's like, oh, well, you know, got to pay respects to that. So BB working in towards his BKB next, which he is actually very, very close to, just 600 gold off, and then the Death Prophets really give able to just run around and do what they want. And talking about running around, Boom Boy has been caught right now. It looks like MYN, his hook shot actually missed, yeah. It allows the Batrider to get himself away. There was a 4-man rotation there for Reapers, not really able to accomplish too much.
And once again, they are building no Force Staffs. There is drums into pipe in the work on the Clockwork, and the other aura is going to be built by the Rubik, so he's going to have Grease pretty soon. Oh, Jewel out on Lionax. That's okay, that's just a treant dying on a tower. What else is new?
Yeah, just doing what he has to do. Throwing his body in there, but hey, another dual victory there for Fearless, now up to 66 damage, and Reaper's going to use this Q to go straight in towards the Roche pit. There's not actually any ops in the area for Vessuwan, but they do land the scan. So they know this is going on, but there's just no way to react in time. This is starting too quickly.
Absolutely not.
No,
You're just going to have to deal with it.
Well, okay, they still want to try and take this fight, even though they're a bit late. With the first BKB usage, charging after the Drow Ranger, but the 4-star straight up to the high ground should be able to get out of danger right now. The Brewmaster in the backline's focused on to My 98, but still can't quite get the finishing touch. The Clockwork as well in danger, but should be able to just run himself away. Okay, they even lose their Tiny there from RDP. Fearless trying to get KMPs, the Spectre lagging behind a little bit. But that is Vessuwan committing multiple ultimates, and they don't get a single thing out of it. They don't take away the Aegis, they even lose a hero. Not at all how this game should be going for him.
Yep, and that's BKB and Exorcism down on the Death Prophet. That feels bad, man. And you have a Lasso and a BKB on the Batrider now, but maybe they should have really waited to have that fight before you had that. Yeah.
I mean, most of the time as well, you know, teams will make the call like, right, we lost Roche, just back on out, disengage. But actually, KMP
Spectre made a step, but step into danger.
He has indeed. Boomboy trying to get on top, but the actual stolen hold there, he just dodges out of it, and instead they have to change the target onto MYM. But the Clockwork, he's pretty tanky, so he's going to be able to stand his ground for now. But BB taking a hell of a lot of damage. Jump falls from Toy. They're going to be able to get the lockdown. Fearless is also here. He wants to get the dual victory. So don't kill the Tiny yet. He jumps in, wants to get the grab. Instead, he will dual Boomboy. It might be a dead Batrider, and it is for sure. Another 2 pickoffs from Reaper. And Fearless, what is this guy doing? He's just diving into enemy base. He doesn't have duel. He's just really feeling confident in this one.
Yeah. And then
Oh.
here he is with a high five again. He's like, hey, remember when I, lost all of my regen and you couldn't push me out of lane?
Oh, they are. Reapers are just really showed up. Where was this team in the rest of this tournament? This seems completely different. Like they're working well with each other. They've got a clear game plan. They're taking these fights perfect. Yeah, literally in all the other games I've cast with them, they've never really performed this solidly. But this is a completely different team in my eyes.
No, but you could see the glimpses, right? And I think a lot of it just probably had to do with nerves then. Taking the officials too seriously, and now there's nothing to lose, nothing to gain, and they're making these decisions that they were otherwise too afraid to make, like this LC mid, like trusting that it's going to go well, and then afterwards just, okay, I'm going to hold hands with my Drow Ranger to like get the necessary pressure in, and as it turns out, they did have the correct read on the game. They can play like this.
Yeah, they can. It's working out fantastically well right now. There's a Vessuwan there. They're going to try and go for a kill onto the Drow Ranger, tossing him into the waiting arms of the Death Prop under the tower with the 4-star away. The rest of the team is there. Dual Victory gets the grab on towards the Tiny, but they should be able to bring down the first life of the Drow Ranger at the very least. Can they do much else though? They're still hanging about. Boom Boy got Flaming Lass up in 2 seconds, wants to find a decent target, but still the Drow Ranger's taking a heck of a beating. Will wants to just TP out if they can. I think got cancelled or didn't even try. They will fall. Even a grab now onto Fearless, but RDP is here. Ultimate has ended. Overgrowth locking them both in place. But this Legion's so tanky. With the Blade Mail as well, trying to turn around. BB coming in though, needs a couple more hits with the Exorcism to bring down the LC at long last, and they will fall. Just Hong here, now get beat to himself, but MYN going straight away on towards the Spectre. They want to take down the target if they can, but nice haunt off to the backside, duking around. KMP though, the dots, they're just too damn much. They will fall, but regardless, they've performed fantastically in this fight. MYN, the only survivor, and it feels like they're just playing around with him right now, but eventually he will die. And that is a full team wipe. 6 kills when you factor in the Aegis. It's exactly what Vessuwan needed to do.
Yeah, and limited on damage there for Reapers, probably. You can see the Brewmaster running around in his ult form, trying to juggle everybody into the air, stunned everything, but the fact is that several of these heroes of Vessuwan just deal damage by being alive, most notably the Spectre, but also, of course, the Death Prophet. Rubik did not get a steal off on the Siphons this time.
Yeah, and that's like been the main thing of how this Rubik's been able to survive so long, is with those stolen Siphons, and yeah, without it, we see just how fragile they are. And also, like, Reapers really heavily rely on the damage output of the Drow, but they just did a fantastic job of focusing her down. In that entire fight, she only did 480 damage. It was the least out of everyone. And yeah, it's perfect target choices.
Like, she's an easy target choice, but I was very worried that she would actually live there, because that was an Aegis as well, and really all Vessuwan can do is just sit on top of her and hope she falls over.
Yeah, just done absolutely everything and hope for the best, and yeah, it worked out. I mean, she has now got completed Manta style, so with that extra, defensive item, maybe that situation won't happen again, as you're obviously able to purge away the slows and whatnot, and yeah, maybe Toy's going to feel a bit more comfortable. But even still, that is a 100% big victory there for Vessuwan, and as a result, it did knock the win probably back up again once more and trying to help balance this game out. But every single time they take a fight, the graph just immediately starts dipping back down again and again and again.
Vector got found.
Oh wow! KMP
Silence as well.
Again, there's no chance. Just the right clicks on the Drow Ranger there with the ultimate piercing all the armor, just disintegrates in seconds. And that's, yeah, Spectre down for 45 seconds. Should be able to finally take down this tier 1 tower at the top. Not the biggest objective, but it's something.
It can't be playing a bit like he already had his own Manta style, which would have definitely saved him there. You just take the silence off, you step out towards, well, anything, anywhere.
Trying to go onto Fearless right now, but he just like walks away. He sees, oh look, there's a Tiny. Let's get another dual victory on the board. Actually, Caddy's like, guys, help me, I need the win. Oh, the last second he does manage to get it. Lionax and BB were like, all right, just take my Tiny. I'm out of here. I don't want any of this.
Yeah, but once again, damage problems? What damage problems? Holding hands with my Drow at, 27 minutes into the game? Maybe, actually.
But whatever works, if it's actually being successful, can't say too much about it. Oh, actually,
Blink Dagger reveal.
They've been doing his namesake, jumped in very aggressive right now, but still able to survive. Pops the BKB and run himself away. Oh, the pushback from the gust actually made MYN miss his hookshot right now, but still they're on top of the Drow. Oh, he was trying to TP out, but not unfortunately for him. It does get cancelled. He needs some help for the rest of his team. MYN. With
That's not your base.
Yeah, he's just dead. Okay, all right. Well, that's not too bad. Finding the enemy Drow, not losing much in response.
Yeah, forcing out the BKB on the LC there, extremely important, means that she absolutely cannot turn around and bring the hurt again, and you get this Draw Ranger who does not actually have a BKB of her own.
Yeah, but that's going to be an essential item coming out from the Drow. Actually, choosing to prioritize the Lincoln Sphere to obviously avoid
Fearless wants a duel.
Flame Lasso. Doesn't quite manage to find the Spectre. Meanwhile, the rest of his team does at least manage to get the grab on towards the Treant. And KMP, yeah, he's out of it. Oh!
No. His courier gave it away, man.
Oh, no, you can't trust the couriers, man. Who are they really working for? Looks like he might be able to get the kill onto the clockwork at the very least. The heal coming in last, like Fearless is like, toss him into me. I want the jewel. There it is. Oh, okay. Another victory on the board. 178 damage now for this LC. Really starting to feel like a, the beefy character that she wanted to become this entire game.
Yep. Oh, she's got Ristle as well. Oh, that's... I think Ristle is one of the most preposterous items that we've got currently on the neutrals. It is so good on a select subset, like especially the PAs and the LCs of this world.
Yeah, it is a nasty amount. That 40 damage for 8 seconds, especially with the LC already attacking fast because of the press the attack. Racks up a huge amount of DPS. Oh, do you think it needs a slight nerf, maybe like 30 damage instead, or do you think because there's only a select few heroes that it is fine how it is?
I mean, I feel like that makes it worse, but my objections to the neutral items are all purely RNG based. Like, here's the core argument. If the neutral items are good enough to be useful, they're going to be overpowered on certain heroes. Like, that's just how Dota works. If anything's good enough to be... Oh, no, that is a little test BKB over on BB, no big deal. Nobody knows that happened.
Oops.
Sorry, No, if the neutral items are good enough to be useful, they're going to be overpowered on certain heroes. So, sure, you can nerf them, but then they become, like, sort of filler items. Like, say, for example, the... what's the name? The seed, the little garden that people plant? Like...
Oh, yeah.
And then at that point, why do you have them? So either they're good enough, but they're going to be OP on some heroes, or they're not good enough, and do we have them to just make players feel better about themselves? Like,
yeah, true. Maybe
staunch neutral item opposition here, by the way.
Yeah. I like it. Maybe like we could adjust it around, right? So maybe only supports can take neutral items. There you go. Make them feel a bit better. The cores don't need more things to make them, beefier and do more damage. Just give the position 5s in this world a little helping hand. They need it. Okay, but with this smoke maneuver, Vessuwan, they realise that Roshan is up, especially once they send in the Spectre Illusion right now. And see if they can get the jump onto the Reapers. Their priority target is obviously going to be the Drow, so if they can find him and bring him down, they could take a very successful fight, but still, they're playing carefully. Obviously, the Panda not breaking the smoke, but there's only a few seconds left on top of it. And they're just going to hold this high ground, see if anyone from Reapers walked into their waiting arms and they could potentially get a free kill. But it looks like they themselves are just holding the dire side, so sort of just swapping teams at this point.
Both killing the midways, but there is a little bit of a benefit here for the Spectre, who can of course come in at a moment's notice, whereas Toy needs to be closer to his team. Does finish the Lincoln Sphere. A lot less afraid of that Bat Rider now.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice little quality of life increase with jump forwards there. Nice grab onto the two people. Flame Lasso immediately on top of Fearless. The LC just cannot tank through it. Hong attempting a very ambitious TP out as well, but he will also get caught. And now Reaper's in complete disarray. Nice hook shot from MYN to try and disengage. Overgrowth. Okay, Lionax, he was pumping it. He's like, do I use my armor just for a position 5? And I think it was a wise choice not to. And,
exactly, you save it for this fight.
Which will be coming out. Buyback already done for the Rubik. Does The LC also commit theirs. Might be forced to now as the jump is
Force
forward.
back?
A fantastic round with the toy, but nice 4-star back up to the high ground. Emwin with the cogs trying to block off the sort of choke point area. And Fearless is here. Jewel straight away on top of the Death Prophet. Sorry, take a load amount of damage. They will fall down. Overgrowth now coming out for Lion Axe, connected onto quite a few. And Toy's into real danger. He wants to try and
Still
juke
alive,
himself
though.
out, but now he's turning around. The right click's raining in with the gust, pushing back the Bat Rider. And this should be a dead Spectre cyclone up into the sky. There's just no way to 1v4 this.
Oh, Vessuwan, just when you look good. I understand that they want to go for more, they want to make use of like the last bit of that exorcism, for example, not waiting for Reapers to take the fight into that pit. But on the other hand, it's your defensive fights that have looked good. It's your defensive lineup that has worked out well for you so far. Every single time that you've fought offensively, it's gone wrong, and here again, Toy gets what he wants.
Yeah, another Aegis into the hands of the Drought. I think he also... Did he take the shard? Oh, I think he already had the shards. Who did they give the shard to? Was it the Rubik? No, I think Rubik also already had his. Who did they give it to? I don't know. I can't see it.
I don't know myself, actually.
It must...
Oh well.
It must... Yeah, it's like... The other three heroes don't have their shards at all. So it must have been the Rubik, but I thought he already had it.
I think...
Maybe he didn't.
No, because he's bought Greaves and a Force Staff, right?
That's true.
He
Yeah.
spent a lot of money.
Yeah. Just try to get those on. So hey, a free shard. He's going to have it on that. But meanwhile, jump into the backlines again. They got the connection on towards the LC, but actually not enough burst damage this time around to completely change it. And there's going to be the Jewel locking down BB. And eventually they will fall down. Another Jewel victory. 254 damage for the LC now. And no Death Prophet for 70. No buyback. This is going to be a minimum of one set of barracks, potentially two.
Yeah, I mean, at least you got them to focus over on your other lane, question mark? This is bad. You don't have a lasso left anymore. Your Death Prophet does not have a buyback, so that Exorcism is just sitting in the fountain. I think you lose double racks. Like, and the entirety of it, not just, you know, unranged racks.
I mean, it looks like they're going to leave the top range barracks, choosing to, I guess, pressure out the tier 2, but then open up the bottom set for the potential of the Megas to come out. And Spectre was desperately trying to cut the creep wave, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get the work done. Creep wave's still alive. Final tier 2 going down. And do they just keep going? I mean, the Death Prophet's going to be alive.
Sure, but you have the Drow in a very advantageous position right now. She's going to be the one sieging. And if Vessuwan's going to have to engage into you, you probably have the cooldown of that Flaming Lasso on absolute lockdown. And she has a Lincoln Sphere as well. So I'd say you go for it. There's not a Blink Dagger onto that Death Prophet. They're going to have to walk into you, and look at Fearless like holding up the flank. He's going to duel immediately.
Yeah. Now
Somebody
also, his own Lincoln Sphere is going to come for jump away. The duel is going to be straight away onto the Bat Rider. He cannot survive that. Or can he actually? Not going to get the duel because the overgrowth is actually locked in place, but still, as soon as it ends, Boom Boy just gets disintegrated. BB, he's deep, he's in the back lines trying to do what he can, but he's in a 1 versus 5. KMP's like, I'm coming to your aid, buddy. Do what he can, but immediately backs on now as BB just drops in front of him. And 5-5-5. Don't even know what that means.
Me neither. He might be laughing.
Interesting.
That's just an educated guess.
Yeah. It's like when like Russian players type in haha, it's like ax 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 ax.
Yeah, but that's because it's a sound, right? So
Yeah.
they're actually going ha 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 ha.
Yeah. There you go, maybe the language 5s is H's or something. I don't know, you learn something new every day. But
Yeah.
still, Mega secured, jump forward immediately, the Jeweler's there onto my 93, and probably just potentially one last duel. The Flaming Lasso gets immediately cancelled as well from Boom Boy. And this is just the beginning of the end. Megas is there, tier 4's falling down, and yeah, UD Vessuwan, they tap out and call GG.
Yeah.
Drops the lol 55 again. Don't even know what it means. Yeah, okay, I think he's having fun at the end there.
Yeah, it might also be a GG. I'm not sure. But this man, please, he is twisting himself into all kinds of pretzels. Just chill, dude.
He really is. I mean, like, if there was ever a time to start getting a bit crazy, it's on the final game of their entire tournament showing there. And yeah, what a way to end it. That was obviously their final one, and they take it 2-0. Like I was saying it earlier, if they were performing this way
Yeah.
at the start, they could have been a good contender. Like I think they could have gone quite far in this tournament, but they just waited too long to really start showing what they were made of. And yeah, they shut down Vessuwan, who obviously as well cannot qualify to go through to the playoffs. They needed to win 2-0. They get 2-0'd instead. And yeah, that's not a feels good moment.
Absolutely not. And I think most of this is just a difference in pressure. This
Mhm.
one had a lot to do and they needed to, and you start clenching, white knuckling it. And that led to a lot of, like, I want to say, awkward plays, awkward decisions. And Reaper, on the other hand, looked very freed today. Very much ready to just, improvise away in the game, seeing to, like, finding a way out of their problems.
Yeah, he did an absolutely fantastic job of that. Who do you even give the MVP to this game? Like, I don't know if there was only like one particular player on the side of Reapers that performed well. They were actually they were working as a team. All 5 heroes were pretty much together all the time, and they were just doing a fantastic job. But if there was one person you could pick out, who would it be?
Would be between the Rubik and Fearless.
Mhm.
I think Fearless did a really good job. He also definitely got empowered by BB just feeling sort of stunted this game. So I guess I'd hand it to the Rubik and just like standing in the middle of those awkward fights in the early game with all of his siphons on, tanking like he was a death prophet for all the world to see. So that's going to be my MVP here.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it was like the first 3 team fights. Just the Rubik
Yeah,
showed
it's
up
all Rubik.
as the stronger Death Prophet and was like, "Yeah, come on, hit me, throw all you can," and he just tanks the world. And yeah, they just turned around the fight again and again and again. So yeah, I agree. I think the Rubik definitely up there. But yeah, is there much more we could say about this series? It's like it just seemed pretty clean there from Reapers. There wasn't much the Vessuwan could do.
Absolutely, and that just leaves Vessuwan in a position where they're going to have to go into their next series obligated to play, with a 2-0 deficit in their pocket.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It is really not fun, like, especially with getting. I mean, Toy, he was getting a bit of the reverse tilt in there at the very end. So if that sticks with Vessuwan going into their next series, which is going to be versus Spawn Team, potentially that could play a big part. But again, Vessuwan now they know they can't go forward, so they potentially could just be trying to have fun right now, or as you were saying earlier, now that there's no pressure, they can start testing out some other strats, see what else they can do, and yeah, give us a good showing. Spawn Team, though, however, I think if they take at least one game in their next 4 matches, they are guaranteed to qualify once they get that 8 wins. So all they got to do is win one map, and they are safe. But we shall see. But again, guys, that will be our next series, UDFS1 versus Spawn Team, which will be coming up in about 15 minutes' time. So there's a bit of an extra break there. So it's time for you to go get some snacks, get some drinks, come back and enjoy the stream. Me and Kips will be here waiting for you guys to join us for that one. So we will see you then.